Warning: the following program may contain material not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
For the depths unknown, our voice begins to rise, breaking through the noise with fire in its eyes. The spirit of adventure burning ever bright. Hold on tight, travelers. It's gonna be a ride. Another week burning, halfway to the end. Pull the silver diamond and let the tears descend. Well, the silver diamond is the night is here. Shatter the silence, conquer all your fear. Pull the silver gun, the angels gonna scream. With Diego at the wheel, living out a dream.
It's time to find out with Diego. Let's go. Ooh, yeah.
On this episode of Bonus Overdrive Wednesday, from the depths of Davenport, Iowa, emerges the heaviest two-piece to ever grace the charcoal universe. With a divine hunger, our guest's mission is simple: to spread the message of smoke and flavor across the charred remains of the earth. Their sound is a relentless, sonic dry rub, engineered to crush the vegan armies standing in their way, and leave nothing but well-seasoned bones in their wake. The grill is hungry, and it must be fed. All this plus more. Please welcome our new friend and first-time guest, Lyndon Ehlers from Pitlord. My friend, welcome to Bonus Overdrive Wednesday.
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing well, and you know, it's one of those things. I know I'm jumping to the quick here, but
Yeah, go ahead.
When I stay up late at night, I always love getting into new things, new music, new artists, and I'm going around, and damn it if Iowa doesn't produce something awesome as always. I've been having very good luck with Iowa lately, and I saw a name called Pitlord, because I must click on this link, and it did not disappoint, man. So
That's awesome. That intro was amazing, by the way. That's the best one so far.
thank you, brother. It was definitely influenced by your music. As I was telling you earlier, I was blown away from what I heard, and if for those people out there who are gym people, and I go up for once in a while, you want to put up some plates, you want to put some heavyweight, you got to listen to Pitlord. It's a guarantee. Don't listen to it while you're driving though, because it's going to be a very expensive ticket. And then, all joking aside, my friend, let's start from the beginning.
Yeah.
Because not only your name pretty badass, but your music as well. The topic is very entertaining, and it's just done. I'm not gonna say well done because it'd be a pun, no pun intended, but it's very well done. How did this start? Because I asked because Davenport, and from my understanding, in my opinion, I could be wrong, isn't exactly the barbecue or death metal capital of the world. How did this project begin? How do you bring this brutality to Iowa?
Well, I mean, and there's certainly always been metal here. Maybe not necessarily death metal, but I would say, like, I'm 30, I'm about to be 38. I've been doing this for 25 years. And I mean, within that time, if there was a legit death metal band around here, it was probably me or a handful of people that I knew doing it. But there have been some really cool bands from around here. It's always been around. It's the way we started this was my guitarist, Dan, he and I were in a band together. We went to school together, like high school. We've been friends since we were in 10th grade. And he and I were in a couple bands together over the years. We were in the first band we were in together is a little black metal band called Ageless. And then The next one, some probably a decade later or so, was a band called Crater. And we're kind of like proggy death metal, all friends. I mean, obviously you have to be friends, but like, it was all people that had known each other for years and years. And I joined that band kind of late, kind of towards the end of the career, as things were starting to just kind of die down. People just weren't feeling it. And usually what would happen is Dan and I would be at his house waiting for everybody to show up. Nobody else would show up. And, in the meantime, we'd be grilling, which, I mean, I would say living in the Midwest, that's pretty normal. It really seems to be pretty normal most everywhere, unless you live in like Manhattan, I guess. So that was just kind of a thing we grew up doing, got into it more so together, like as adults. Like Dan started doing like smoking stuff and, just getting really into it. And yeah, there's not really, as far as barbecue goes, yeah, if you're in Iowa, at least in our area, which is probably the most urbanized area, we're in the Quad Cities, so on eastern end of Iowa. I mean, there's a lot of stuff here, but otherwise, I mean, you're going to go to Famous Dave's, or you're going to go to some chain, and maybe a random food truck that pops up. But I mean, yeah, it's not really a hub for barbecue in any way, shape, or form. So you have to do it yourself, which a lot of people do. And that's what we started doing. And there was just one day where it was just us at his place, hanging out, eating wings or something. And he was just like, I've been thinking we should do a band, and, it's going to be heavy, but it's going to be about barbecue. And I thought it was the stupidest thing I'd ever heard for like 2 seconds. And then it was like, dude, but if we did it right, and if we just had fun with it, if the option was just the goal was to just have fun, maybe make people laugh. I mean, the idea was to be somewhat silly about it. We're goofy dudes anyways. We laugh at farts and balls and, whatever. So it's like, if we could do that, you think we could do that? And so we recorded an EP or demo, whatever you want to call it. We did Meet Demons. We wrote it. We did nothing but get drunk and get stoned while we recorded it. Like the lyrics, and we still do this, but like we write the lyrics on spot as we're recording. And it's usually both of us. We both write together. I mean, literally, we go line by line. You're saying this, then I'm going to say this, so on. It can be excruciating sometimes, but we did that, and we just had fun. We did the album cover ourselves. We did everything ourselves, and we released it. I told all of our friends. We did all this. We did a ton of like just stupid sketches, and we just promoted the crap out of it for like maybe 8 months before we even put anything out. It was just this band we're going to do. And like, we didn't have anything out, and we put that EP out, and right away, I mean, friends, everybody that was hearing it was just like, so you guys are going to do this live? And that was never the plan. We were like, no, this is just, look at this. Who's going to do this? And then we did it. And then it's just, everybody was just like, you have to do this. And, Dan was like, let's just do it. We'll just program the drums, and he actually goes in and records each drum sample off his kit, whatever, because he's also a drummer. This man's a maniac. Wants to do everything. And so all the samples you hear are from his kit. He just paints into Pro Tools. And it was just so easy, and it flowed so well when we did it. We're like, well, let's do it live. We decided to put the grill on stage, in place of the drummer, because there had been bands around here that had programmed drums and did the Putrid Pile thing. And I was always a big fan, but you certainly miss that aspect of a live drummer, the movement, just everything. So I was like, we have to replace that. So we put the grill on stage, and we've had like 4 different grills, maybe 5 by this point. The first grill was just the biggest piece of shit. It fell apart in the middle of one show. Later on, put the fog machine in it. We have a light show. Dan worked at Guitar Center, I think at the time still. So he had all this gear that he had gotten for like super cheap, and we had all this lighting stuff. And he's like, I can just, Dan masterminded a lot of this live show because I was like, I want to do it like this, but I don't know how to do it. And then he goes, oh, I know how to do it. He also went to school for music production, so we do all of our own engineering and stuff. So we had so many things on our side. It was just kind of silly not to try and do it. And man, we booked that first show here in town. We booked it ourselves. Mind you, a lot of what we'd done in this band, we were not good at before. Like, we were awful at running a band. And it was only us, so we had to do it. And we booked that first show. We booked all of our friends. We'd come up with 2 t-shirt designs and apron designs. We had all this stuff. And I think we made like $1,000 off of merch that first show. We almost sold out this entire club. And it was like so crazy the way it worked out. And I mean, I almost feel like we've been chasing that same high since 2019. But yeah, man, that's how it started. And it's been kind of full bore since then. We'll take a winter off every so often, but we're just hitting the point now where we're just trying to be on the road. We're trying to be on the road more rather than these one-offs and festivals and stuff. So yeah, that's the condensed history, sort of.
Oh no, and that's fine because you guys had the theme already, but then the name Pit Lord.
Oh yeah, that happened on the first day, and it was when that happened in that initial conversation. We had the name right away, but Dan's like, "I'm thinking Pitmaster, but that's so generic and like, we're gonna get mistakes." Blah blah blah. We thought Pit Lord sounded just a little bit more sinister and, just had its own ring to it. It wasn't until it wasn't like a month down the road I found out it's like a magic card, or it's the name exists in a handful of like tabletop games. So people will think we're like a magic themed band, or like there was this Polish guy in Omaha, Nebraska that was like, he's like, when I heard Pit Lord, I thought it was like Mosh Pit Lord, but this is so much cooler. And I was like, all right, I didn't even think of that. So yeah, that happened right away, but it was like we just settled on Pit Lord, and I thought about it later on, like it's 2 syllables. It's just easy for people to remember, and it's there. And yeah, like I drew the original logo, and then we had our friend Jason Grievous redraw it like better. So like the logo on the first 2 EPs is mine, and then we fixed it for the full length. Like we just started tightening everything up. But yeah, right away, Pit Lord.
And it's an excellent name. It kind of goes with everything, the whole theme.
Yeah.
Perfectly named. But then there's another piece of this equation for Pit Lord. Let's talk about, as you both described, the unholy mouthpiece for the Lord of the Grill. Who are we talking about?
Yeah, so Beelzebub Barbecue, which I was trying to come up with something more for what we were doing, rather than just 2 guys that, really enjoy barbecue and stuff. So I thought of this idea of like, we are kind of being manipulated and controlled by this demon who's like the lord of like grilling and like meat and like all that kind of stuff, sort of this Roman god of hedonistic eating and something like that. And I was like, let's have, we would just tell people. We kind of put this together in a bunch of interviews and stuff like as we went, and we always tell people the grill is the drummer and it's possessed by the spirit of Beelzebub Barbecue. And when we're speaking to people on social media and stuff, it's really through him. I used to get a lot more deeper about it, and I want to start doing that more with more of that thing. But it's yeah, we had a lot of fun with that. And I think it's only gonna get weirder. Like the next because there's been sort of a loose concept that's gone throughout that goes through the first and the second EP up to Seasonings in the Abyss, where it's like us trying to like sort of resurrect the spirit of Beelzebub barbecue, and then we do it, and then like everything gets kind of fucked up. Like I don't know. It's really loose. It's always the vision I've had in my mind when I listen to it, you know. But that's Beelzebub barbecue, and that name came from our friend, a friend of ours, when we were first kind of going around town playing the EP for people. He was like, our friend Mike says, you know, it's my first smoker I ever had. I called it Beelzebub barbecue. And right away, like Dan and I looked at each other and like, that's it. We're gonna use that. And that's when the idea came up. And yeah, it's continued.
And I'm glad that you said the name of the grill, because I was gonna say what is the story behind, and I was gonna get all tongue tied. I was gonna really straight up the whole name of it.
Sometimes I forget how to spell it.
As long as it sounds good, you ain't gotta learn how to spell it right. But
yeah.
now from that first show, and you had a very successful night, not only in turnout, but you also had a great night in selling merchandise. But sometimes it's very challenging for anybody, you know, any brand of entertainment that you're at. Where have you gone from there? I asked because I've been seeing a lot of great things coming out of Iowa, and I'll totally be transparent. I don't know much about Iowa's music scene. I'm very happy that I've been discovering a lot of great artists from Iowa. What locations have you gone and played, and who you've played with?
Oh man, I mean, like honestly, I would say it's kind of crazy how much of Iowa specifically we haven't played. But that's just because there's not really a whole lot of places, you know. It's like, but we've gone. I mean, we played probably the funnest thing we used to do was we would play Full Terror Assault in Illinois, in Southern Illinois, Full Terror Assault Fest. It's not happening anymore, but it was an open air fest, sort of like Vakken, but in Southern Illinois on a campground, and we played that 2 years. I mean, Dan and I would go down there. I mean, I think we've both been down there like 6 or 7 years. My old band from back in the day, Helm Splitter, we played the first Full Terror Assault. But we played with, I couldn't even think to name all the bands. We opened for Drowning Pool, actually, just
Why?
like a couple of years ago, here in town at a venue we'd never played. That was cool. That was just a fun thing to do. Drowning Pool kind of sucks, but they were like, or let's see, we played Chicago a bunch, Iowa City. So like in Iowa, where we're from, Quad Cities, there's some stuff that happens. Like there's maybe 2 good spots to play, and there's always shows. So that's cool. And then you go a little more west, southwest, Iowa City is really cool. And then Cedar Rapids is where a lot of the big shit's been happening. And that's because of a band from Cedar Rapids called Frontal Assault. And they're a kind of a proggy thrash band. They're friends of ours. We played with them our 3rd show ever. But they're doing a lot of cool stuff. Maul from South Dakota comes down all the time and plays Cedar Rapids. We've played with Maul. We've played with Exhumed. We've played with, I have all the flyers in my living room. But we've played with a lot. We've played with some, well, I would say probably the craziest thing that happened was we played, the first year we played Full Terror Assault, we ran into Sherwood Weber from Skinless because they were playing that year. And he was like, man, you know, I loved your guys' set. I'd love to have you out in Denver and play. cool. And we just suddenly made friends with like one of our childhood heroes. Skinless was like a big band for Dan and I when we were first starting to be friends, and so that was really cool. And then we were recording our second album, and I was like, let's ask Sherwood to do guest vocals on a song. And I emailed him, and he was like, yeah, totally. And then we set up this whole thing where we went out to Denver, and he paid us to play like a matinee on his property for his friends, which is something I don't know. That's such a weird story. It was great though. It was so fun. We just drove out to friggin' Commerce City, Colorado. And yeah, he gave us a place to stay. We played the next day. I grilled for like this whole party. I almost set the grill on fire. That would have been really bad, but it was cool. Yeah, we've done a lot, but man, it just always feels like we haven't done enough. You know what I mean? Like there's still so many things I want to do, and fuck, man, we can only get to so much of it at one time, and then you get burnt out. And this has been a particularly hard winter for both of us, just because of winter was just a killer this year. Like, I mean, and Dan really hates winter too, like extra hard for the both of us. So, and we've been staying pretty busy, so it's crazy, man.
I get it, but
there's still a lot of other bands.
That's true. You're never going to get everything done you want to in your bucket list.
Yeah.
But, it's one of those things talking about winter and some downtime. That's usually the perfect time to start creating more things.
Yeah.
And get your heads together. It could be anything. You could be at the brink of discovering something new for you guys to do. And
yeah.
Well, speaking of that, something new, and once winter's over, you're going to be on the road doing a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking earlier, and we're talking about one of my favorite bands out there currently, Texas Toast Chainsaw Massacre. And I know you guys are going to be playing with them as well. Where are y'all going?
Yeah. That is April 4th. And I think it's Wapakoneta, Ohio. I might be wrong, but it's a not a festival, but it's a show basically all like food based bands. So it's us, the band that is throwing it is a band called A La Carte. And then Texas Toast Chainsaw Massacre, and I don't remember the other bands that are on the show. I'm sorry. But that's going to be really cool. So A La Carte played here 6 or 7 months ago, and Dan happened to go to that show and meet up with them. And our whole spring tour is kind of launches from this date, because otherwise, it didn't make sense to just go out to Ohio and come back.
Right. Yeah, and
that's gonna be really cool.
Yeah. I lived in Ohio for a number of years, and winter up there too, depending on where you're at there. But that's okay, because once the weather warms up, so will Pit Lord. Now, let me ask this, because you guys are a two-piece band, and we're talking about the theme of the band. Is there a specific secret seasoning that you guys do to getting your sound and sounding so heavy but yet still palatable?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a secret. To me, it's the way I've wanted to work in a band forever, for as long as it started being in a band, meant for as long as I've been old enough to analyze what's going on and understand what I should be doing and everything. It's all about, so people always ask, what's it like just having two people in the band? That must be so much easier. And to a degree it is. Yeah. Obviously with like scheduling and stuff, like it's like one person that, somebody has to text, and that's it. Obviously we've been friends for so long that can sometimes not work depending, but it's really just, it's all been about compromise. And because the thing is, there's only two of us. So there's no other party. There's no other impartial voter when it comes to like a decision or even like a riff or something. it's like, well, I really like this, and then I have one other person that's like, well, I don't know if I really like it, and that can sometimes feel like a stab in the heart, especially when it's like your best buddy. And you have to get over that. And then you have to go, okay, so, well, let me try this. And then you try it the way you want to do it. And we figure out what works better, and we do that with everything. Like, there's really not a decision or anything that's made without both of us, having our input. We're both kind of like, we're both kind of type 1 personalities. I like to be in control. Dan likes to be in control. And in a way it works because we're both in control. And, like, I don't ever want to make him do something he doesn't want to do, and vice versa. And, when we're on the road, we don't have anybody with us. Sometimes my wife comes, depending on the length of the trip and everything, and she helps with merch. But it's usually just 2 of us. And so we have to kind of you have to kind of watch each other's back because we don't have like a team of people with us, stuff like that. So there's a lot of feeling it out, there's a lot of that, but it works out in a way that we both have our own like side skills that can go to the band. Obviously, like I said, Dan can record and produce everything. He has a studio in his basement and all that, and he knows what he's doing. He has a really good ear. It's actually frighteningly good, and it irritates me how good it is sometimes because I don't care if I didn't hit that note exactly perfect, but he does. And, there's just a laundry list of things that you have to like not be a bitch about, and I think a lot of that when you have a band of 5 or 6 people, or 4 people, you have that one person that just never has any input, and you typically have 1 or 2 people that are doing everything, and with us, we kind of have our roles. Dan's the sound guy, and I've handled, for the beginning of it, I handled a lot of the social media and the graphic design and stuff, and for the last like year or 2, that's been kind of split down the middle too. But I mean, like, I had to teach myself how to use Adobe Illustrator. We had to both figure out how to design merch and what looked good and what looked like crap. And, we kind of make it like, so we both fail together. If something doesn't work out, it's like kind of on both of us, and it's not the easiest thing like people think it is, but we're doing it. It's not miserable.
No, so far you guys are doing great, and I get it because, like, for instance, what I do in my shows, I'm a one-man band, so I had to learn the social media aspect, designing logos, artwork, and it's not all good. It's not all terrible. It's a trial and error.
Yeah. It was weird to start assigning trial and error to like art, to like something you're creating, because obviously you're creating something that you want to sell, you want people to believe in, so it was kind of weird to be like, well, okay, it's one thing to just make paintings and put them out in the world and be like, oh, there's another one, and I'm not devaluing that at all, but like, you want something to hook on to people or them to, relate something in a way. And it is kind of weird to be like, oh, that didn't quite work as well as I thought it would. Oh, that worked. And I thought that was dumb, so yeah, it's a challenge. And it's really ironic that this band started as like, let's try to do as little work as possible. And instead it's turned into like the most work either of us have ever done, on a band. And boy, it sucks to really, really care about something. It sucks so bad. I'm so frustrated and stressed all the time about this thing I love, but don't know what else I'd do.
I wouldn't know what to do either without this show, man. I would go
Yeah.
crazy. You gotta have an outlet
Yeah.
for creativity and to get your
Oh yeah.
aggression out. Now, and I
Yeah.
know that currently there are several releases available. I know it's on Bandcamp, but what are you guys working on currently? What's going on?
I mean, as far as music goes, nothing at the moment. Because we just put out our third album, Massive Grilling Capacity. We just put that
Oh
out
yeah.
last year at the summer last year. God, I don't even remember. But 2025. And usually the pattern was to put one out, take the and in my opinion now this isn't the best strategy, but we would take the winter off and get a bunch of stuff booked for spring and summer and then go out and promote the album. This year we chose to stay a little bit busier during the winter. And we just got a handful of cool things to do that we wanted to do. Some of it didn't work out because of weather, obviously, but like we're just kind of worrying about shows at the moment. We just finished booking our week tour for this April, and we're getting to the stages of getting everything finished for that, so we can finally like officially announce it and do all the promo and everything. But to answer your question exactly, we're trying to get better at booking shows because we suck at that. We're really good at saying yes. We're really good at saying no, but I wouldn't say we're the best at like putting runs and tours together. We've been able to do a few runs over the past few years, and they've been fine. We went out with friends. We went out for 4 days, I think, with our friends Ancient Entities from Wisconsin. Super awesome band. They just released, I don't remember, Ancient Entities though. Awesome. We went out with them. That was fun, but this is going to be the longest. We're going to be out on the road for about a week. This is going to be the longest we've been on the road. And I'm just ready. I'm just ready to get it done, and get out there and have fun, and come back and go back to regular life for a little bit. But yeah, being on the road, that's what we want to do.
Well, one of the things is I'm looking forward to seeing you guys and eventually get closer to where I'm at on my side of the coast.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
it's one of those things. I haven't been in a show, and I tell everybody this, they're always amazed because I love music so much. I haven't been to a show since 2010. It's a little while ago.
Man.
I think I need to go out there and get out of the house a little bit more.
Oh,
and
there's so much happening.
I know I'm missing out, brother. And it's one of those things. I'll eventually get there. And I confess that I talked about it with somebody the other day. Sometimes these shows, but they happen like on a Wednesday night or a Tuesday night. Like,
yeah.
I gotta go to work. I don't have time for this.
Man, hey, I know what you're talking about. Like,
yeah.
And for me, I'm like, I want to go out and see bands around here. I want to know, like, all I know about what the scene happening in the scene. I mean, for the past like couple of months is what I've seen on flyers. I've not been able to get out, to shows enough around here because I want to know what's happening. I want to support, our scene, and the scene here is really blossomed post COVID. I think that's probably the case in a lot of places, but there were so many bands that were kind of cooking because we started right before COVID hit. We started right before lockdown. We'd only had 1 or 2 shows in the can before everything shut down and everything got canceled. And, it's crazy, but yeah, also I broke my shoulder at the release show for our second album for like I broke my shoulder in the circle pit for Frontal Assault, but you got to when they play what was it? Suicide by Bong or something. I forget what the song was. But yeah, you have to, but also you get old and you have to work and you have responsibilities and stuff, and remind yourself you're not 25 anymore. I have to do that all the time because I feel pretty good for 37, and I still have to remember I'm 37.
Oh no, you're still young, man. There's still plenty of pit time left, but it comes a time where you got to hang it up and let
Yeah,
the young bucks do it, and that's
exactly.
perfectly understandable. And as we're nearing close to the end of the show, there's only got a few more questions because
Sure.
man, we could talk about this all night long. And
Oh yeah,
armies,
man, I can
yeah.
ramble.
Oh
I can
no, that's
ramble.
that's we like that because that's we learn more about you and Pit Lord. Let me ask this a little bit of an Iowa versus Texas thing going on here
Okay. Oh,
with as far as grilling capacity is concerned.
yeah.
Charcoal or propane?
Oh, okay. So this might make some people mad. I don't know how many people would care as much, but I I don't take a stance. I have used both. I've enjoyed both. I will say that I haven't used propane in quite a while now. Um, Dan is like Dan will tell you he's like straight up charcoal. Um, like he's all charcoal and wood, and then we both have pellet grills too. Dan actually got me a pellet grill for my wedding
Wow.
my wedding gift. So I use a pellet grill right now. I don't even use like a smoke box. But yeah, I to me it's you do get that flavor with charcoal. And that I don't think anybody can deny that. I guess you have to like that. Excuse me. Some people don't. Um, but if I was gonna die on a hill, I would say I'd prefer, a carbon combustion over like a gas, like a charcoal or wood for me, overall. Wood pellets, kind of what I have to do right now. But yeah, we accept everything. That's the thing is we didn't want to. We knew things like that were going to come up when we started this, and we're just all about it. It's just meat over fire. Whatever that fire is burning on, I don't care. It's all about the ritual of it. And everybody has a ritual. So that was we're enthusiasts.
Sure, and there is definitely a ritual when it comes to either whether you're cooking propane or charcoal, it doesn't matter. My even I put it like this: even when you're cooking pancakes in the morning, the first one always winds up being all effed up. So
Yeah.
you gotta sacrifice. You gotta sacrifice that to the pancake gods. Same thing with the barbecue
Yep.
gods. You got to sacrifice
Yep.
that first glizzy. It gets burned up or falls through the cracks. But I'll say one more thing though that I don't know anybody else's experience, but I think a charcoal grill I've had that last longer than propane. You can use that thing when it's got rust in it, it's
Oh.
got rained
Oh
on. It
yeah.
don't matter.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Everybody has. There are probably more usable Weber grills laying around than like old Buicks. Like there you can use those things. I mean, realistically, it's a pretty simple thing. Like you could just make one yourself out of, you know, like it'll be Mad Max apocalypse time, and somebody will have, a grill formed out of sheet metal and
Yep,
scrap and shit. So
I'm
I
with
don't
you on
think
that.
you can argue against that at all.
No, lasting power, man, just like Pit Lord. And before we go, my friend, for our friends and listeners of Bonus Overdrive Wednesday, that want to learn more about Pit Lord, your albums, and where you're going to be in 2026, where can they
Mhm.
find out?
So you can go to our Facebook or Instagram. Uh, Even if you just Google Pit Lord Linktree, that'll have everything on it. We use our Facebook a lot. I'm probably going to shift to more Instagram in the future. I don't know exactly yet. Things have been working out a little bit better over there, but we're also on TikTok. That's a platform I've been kind of easing away from lately. But if you're new to it, you can always go to our TikTok, and we have a bunch of crap over there. We have a YouTube channel. It doesn't really have a ton of stuff on it other than our music videos. and some random video content we did. But heck, man, just Google Pit Lord Band, you'll find it. Bandcamp also, obviously, that should have been the first one. Bandcamp for sure. That's where you'll get all of our merch is there. We're about no, probably not. We will have new long sleeves up in the future, probably after tour. I want to save those for tour. But otherwise, we have vinyl and everything up there. So yeah, that's where I would go.
Perfect. And now, my friend, this is my favorite part of the show. It's also our good friends, the listeners, is their favorite part of the show as well, where we get to play one of your songs. And if you don't mind, let's close this out. The song is Meat Cup. Give me a little background on that one.
So, Meat Cup, it's probably my favorite song off of that album. But it is a song. It was a story that a buddy of ours told, where he got drunk at a like a backyard barbecue party, and threw a bunch of random stuff off the grill, like meat chunks, into a styrofoam cup, and was walking around this party eating all this meat out of a cup. And yeah, we just thought that was hilarious. So that is what the song's about. With probably a little more aggression, but it's a very like Suffocation inspired like song as far as like riffs go. Probably I would say, as far as the production of the album went, this was me and Dan. I mean, straight down the middle. We had so much fun making this one, where we're like not even done with it. We knew it was going to be the first single off of the album, and it's part of the live set right now. This is probably one of my favorite songs we've ever written, honestly.
Awesome. And thank you for that, my friend. And also thank you for coming on the show. I know you're very busy. We got work, we have our projects, but thank you for coming on the show. And this is Pit Lord on Bonus Overdrive Wednesday with Meat Cup. Lyndon, thank you very much.
Thank you, man.
Meat Cup!
All content on this broadcast is a property of Diego the Podcaster and is served directly from our servers with no modification, redirects, or rehosting. All celebrity impersonators are paid performers. The impersonated celebrities do not endorse or promote any views or opinions expressed by our guests, Diego the Podcaster, or Bonus Overdrive Wednesday. The information shared on Bonus Overdrive Wednesday is provided on an as-is basis, with no guarantees of completeness, accuracy, usefulness, or timeliness.